Ba-da-ba, 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 ba-ba-ba, ba-da-ba. Yeah. All right.
Hey, everybody! Hey, to our one
Happy
our 1
Sunday.
to 3 listeners.
Maybe.
Thank you.
Maybe.
Are we up?
Is
Wow,
it
we're
one?
up.
Is it 3? You just
don't
never
know.
know. You never know.
Might be 2, might be 1.
Might be.
I mean, there has to be at least 3 because there's just 3 of us.
There's nobody. Let's be honest.
I took the ladies down to breakfast on Saturday down to the Black Bear Cafe down on Laval Road. It's on your way to Baco, the great town of Baco. Has anybody noticed service is getting a little bit
Don't even get me started,
lacking?
dude.
These
And they still want 28%.
Wait a second.
I'm not talking about that.
This is not me slamming.
Wait a second. One thing is, okay, now that I'm part of the AARP club.
Yes.
Good for you. Congratulations, by the way.
As of 2 weeks ago, thank you.
Check you out. All right.
Already. I can join now. Some of it could be your age and you being a fucking getting to be cunty and old.
No, it isn't.
It is. It could be.
No.
I'm just saying some of it could be.
He's cunty and old. But
yeah.
I
mean, you're cunty.
I'm not debating the cunty and old part. I'm not at all debating that. But I mean, are we becoming our fucking parents like that? Or like even our grandparents? Like, service.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
What it used to be. I know what he's saying. That it's my
Taste
fault.
The soup.
That
Taste
it's my
the soup.
fault. The fucking Gen Z can't get it together.
They used to be so good in restaurants. They used to call you by your name, and they used to bring you your food in 5 minutes. And now it's nothing but, what do you want? And I hate it, and I'm not ever going out again.
Well, you could at least fucking be nice about it. You know, it's like I had this one server lady in the middle of it walking by. Right, it was our table, the table behind us. There was a table. We're against the wall in front of us, right? She walks by. She says, "Guys are wearing me out. God, man." And I'm thinking, well, who are you talking about? And it's like, dude, why do we ask too much for those napkins we requested? Too much of an ask? Because then a Gen Z came to give them to me. Fucking lurch, 7 foot fucking nothing. It with his fucking his long sleeve shirt went into a kind of a thumb hole thing. So he comes and just does this, gives me one of these. I said thanks, and he just turned and walked away. Like, have you noticed that it seems like, I'm sorry, am I inconveniencing you? I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
what
here.
I'm saying. That's what we were saying on the last podcast is the tip should represent the service. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm only going to tip 2%. You want to be a cocksucker?
Guess what I did?
You didn't leave a tip.
No, 20 fucking % is what I gave.
Oh, you did?
Because you felt bad.
Because I'm a guilty cunt.
That's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stuff it up, Buttercup.
Somewhere down deep, you probably knew that at least a percentage of this is you being old and cunty.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Why can you not agree that some fucking things in the universe just change?
I agree that things change, but I don't think they change that much.
You agree that things change, but mostly it's our fault for being old and cunty.
I think that we change more than the things in the world change.
All right, listen. You're part of Gen X, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I think we all
solidly
are solidly in the middle of Gen X.
Yes.
If there was ever a generation who didn't give a fuck, it was this one.
Yeah.
This is not the generation to start nutting up over the way you bring them fucking napkins.
But you're getting old. You're old. You're getting old. So that's what's happening.
Still carrying that.
You're old. What?
No, you still carrying the Gen X badge, man. It's like, I know I'm old, but how bad does it have to get before you're like, okay, that was fucking awful.
I had a mentor tell me, because I was one of the oldest people at when I was graduating from school.
Yeah.
Going to look for a job.
From CSUN.
Hey, from
lazy.
CSUN. Laziest. Here's the thing.
Graduate of CSUN.
He sat me down and said, you're not nearly as bohemian as you think you are. Okay. And I was like, you're right. That's so true. And you know what? It applies to you too, man. I'm just saying that, okay, the service may have been bad, and I don't discount that, but service has always been bad. And especially at the fucking someplace called the Bear Cafe on your way to Bakersfield, it's always been shitty service there. It's never been good. It's never been good. The service was never good. You know where else I had shitty service all the time? Topanga. You know why? Because it's in the mountains, and there's never good service at restaurants in the mountains or in rural areas.
You know what?
Ever.
That's
it's
not true.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's always.
I
shitty.
will say that Stephanie has gone to a couple places up here that have decidedly been a little bit left of good. The one last place, there's a place called Mom and Me Catering she went to. So we're trying to patronize the local businesses, right? So she goes in there.
Big mistake.
She's like, right? So she's like, she's ordered her food, and the girl who was, I guess, part of the me in the Mom and Me over there in Fraser was like, yeah, you're still a Flatlander. You're not going to be a Flatlander until you weather a few winters, and you need to get rid of your car because that's not going to work. You got to fucking, get something else. And she's like, fuck you. She's all happy to be living in the mountains. And, yeah, you're not. You're still a Flatlander. And I'm like, dude, who talks like that to people? You're trying to buy food from you. It's like, stay off of it. It's like, yeah, you're probably a Democrat. And you're probably, probably shitty at it. You're probably a shitty liberal, too. And a Flatlander.
And a Flatlander.
Speaking of the liberal, the king of liberals, we will be talking about today.
We will be talking about it. Well, that we know how Gordon's week was. He experienced.
Gordon's week has been easy.
My week has been ruined by a visit to the Black Bear Diner.
Yeah,
at Arvin.
And you are not the first person to say that, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, well, the thing is too. I want to say one more thing about the Black Bear. This is the second time we went there for dissatisfaction.
Their food sucks.
Stephanie asked for lime for something she got. I think this server literally reached under the fucking ice maker and got like a pair of fucking tongs and found something that's been under there for a year. It was delivered to our table. Could not be any less juice in that thing than if it was found underneath the thing. But my point is that you saw that in the lime container with all the limes, and that ended up on a plate with another lime that was a good example of a lime, and then there was a bad example of a lime. My question is that is the generation so unfocused and so fucking in their own thing that they can't go, oh, this is a bad lime.
Nobody.
They just go, well, it was in the lime container.
Why wouldn't I bring it? There's another thing, is you're not paid enough anymore to give a fuck either, because the pay is bad. Especially
the pay
at the Bear.
Bad.
Paid more than they used to.
No, honestly, we have rules in this state. And you got a minimum wage. Those servers are making it maybe not be what you're making. I mean, but you're a CSUN graduate. So
That's
these
true.
people
I am a CSUN graduate.
These people are making a minimum $20 an hour, and they're getting the guilt 20% tip that everybody fucking other states are making $2-3 an hour. These people aren't doing bad. I'm not saying it's good, but for my daughter to be making $20 an hour, that's not bad. I mean, it's pretty good. She's got a place to live, but she's got to save up money. Anyway, it's very bad service. People do not give a fuck right now. There's no fuck.
Is it not giving a fuck, or it's like, well, I took the limes out of the lime container, sir. If there was a bad one in there, that's not my fault. It's whoever put them in the lime container.
That might be
to begin with. And you
ask
for lime. There's no respect for anybody anymore. When I start coming down on youngsters,
I think there's two.
And you are not as bohemian as you think you are. You never fucking were. You chillum smoking, fucking dead following motherfucker.
I just think
that's the only reason your father did was to get the bohemian title. And they were probably like, who the fuck's this guy?
There's a percentage.
No, I'm bohemian, dude.
I'm
fucking wide open.
Look, there's a percentage of this that's your age. The other percentage of it, there's a percentage of it that you might be right, but I think it's a small percentage that people just don't care. The other heavier weighting on what's happened to you is, one of them is you're fucking old. The other one is
So that's always number
Wait.
one. Hang on,
So
let me write that down. Write that down.
Hear me out. You've been to the fucking Bear Claw Cafe before. You know
Stop,
the service.
Stop.
You
Let's
know
say-
the service is bad.
This
Yet you
is a
went there
chain.
again.
That
Okay,
he
you
does have a
knew
point
it was
there.
going to be bad.
Dude,
You went back.
fucking
You
second
went
chances.
again. This is
Second
kind
chances.
of your fault.
I have
because-
had a good experience at a Black Bear Diner, and it's
Where?
been all right.
At that one?
Phoenix.
Reading was okay.
Okay.
But it's a fucking greasy spoon a little bit. But listen, honestly, there's like fucking 200 fucking stores at this place, and they started from just one up in Mount Shasta.
Okay.
Anyways,
All right. Well, let's get on with our subject.
Yeah, let's do it.
So episode 34, I called it Sterilized TV, and that is because I believe that television
here's
has
Gabe's
been-
take on.
it's been sterilized.
Oh,
It's,
new TV? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. Our television's been sterilized. And what happened? That's what we're going to try to solve that today.
Okay.
But before we do, I'd like to say goodbye to Maggie Smith.
Oh,
who was legendary.
Maggie Smith.
She mostly played old people like you, and
Wait, no, she was on. I've noted. Even this young picture, she was on. What's that?
I didn't
show
know how hot
up
she was back in the day. She's got very sexy eyes.
I know that's why I put this. That's what I put that picture.
Yeah.
I put that picture for you because you've only seen her as an old lady mostly.
Yeah, Harry
What
Potter.
was that goddamn show where they live in a big goddamn castle? And fucking Harry Potter. She was on Harry
Oh,
Potter.
no,
she-
you're talking about that goofy one with the Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. She played a saucy old broad in Downton Abbey. She was great in that.
Yeah.
She was great.
Well, she's great in everything. She's pretty much just a legendary actress.
She's one of those old
Yeah,
ladies
she
that
really
don't
was.
hand the line too. You know what I mean? She's got the killer line at the end of it. Well, I fucking, you know,
Yeah.
something.
Well, your
something
britches
smarmy.
your britches are
Your
blue.
britches
and
are blue.
mine- That's what-
She's
Something like that,
probably
yeah.
what
Yes.
Angela Lansbury was trying to be.
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury was a badass, but it's very similar
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah,
I
they
liked
had.
I liked her. I'm sorry
I
she's
think
gone.
they're both. Yeah, I think they're both gone. Anyway, Sterilized TV. You guys ready for this?
Still,
Yeah.
Okay, so back in the 60s and 70s, TV started to become a little more, let's say late 60s. It started to become like more of something that messaged to people and was trying to do good. I feel like in a lot of television.
Not all of it. I
Um,
think some of it was. Let's talk about specific one because I think
We will.
when you get into like $6 million Man and shit like that, I'm not sure if there was a message.
Well, no.
But,
No. Of course, there's always going to be drivel. I mean, no matter what. But I think that what's happened we no longer have any of the good TV anymore, almost at all. And what we do have is stuff that it's not unifying anymore. Pretty much all of our just about all of our popular our popular entertainment exclusively promotes consumerism to the maximum. It almost exclusively supports oligarchy. So it tells you that the rich are the good guys and the poor are the bad guys. And it may be that they're sterilizing the progressive aspects out of it, and they've been doing that, I think, since the early 80s. Is trying to take anything progressive or any messages of progress out of the television. So,
Which
And
seems odd.
who do you
because it
think's
seems
doing
like-
that?
I think it's basically a combination of making money, and then you also have special interests who think that this, it's better for us to have things like patriotism and Christianity and
Well, what shows do you see like that that are promoting that today?
We'll get into it. This is just my introduction. I've done this this week as more of a manifesto.
Oh boy, there he is.
Norman Lear. Here we go.
So let's talk about Norman Lear.
I love it.
Yeah,
Loved him.
this guy was a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Seriously.
He developed most of these shows that actually brought conversations of race and conversations of
correct
hard topics to talk about into your home.
He did.
Yeah, and made those things normal. This is what I liked about Lear, is that he made these things normal, not an odd thing or some kind of
well, and we were briefly reaching the top of or just the tip of this whole thing earlier prior to this this podcast, but just a little yap going deep into it was is he was doing it because he knew the family sat down together at a certain time.
This was that time. This was the time when we did that.
Yes. So it was family time. Now, what pissed him off the most was the government came in and made the networks fucking move everything to a different time because they didn't want certain things talked about with certain people. So he got pissed and said, hey, I'm suing you assholes, all three of you networks, for fucking listening to what the government's saying. You can't tell us what we can and can't do or what we can and can't learn. This is a guy who was bucking against the system from day one. This guy's fucking bohemian. You want a fucking role model?
Well, just to give a little background on Norman Lear, and I'm not an expert.
And I love the hat, by the way.
Yeah. No, he always
so
had the
Norman
hat.
Yeah, the hat. What would you
Norman
call
Lear,
that hat?
I don't know. That's like
that's a Gilligan hat to me. I mean, that's straight up
sort of a. It's a ruddy, sort of misshapen, short-rimmed, upturned fedora, but not really a fedora.
No,
it's would you call it a pork pie? Is that a pork pie hat?
It's a sort of a pork pie hat, yeah.
You know, it looks like something a French mime would wear, to be honest with you.
It does.
I like the pictures I see him, and that hat's all fucked up on top. It's like it's been squozen, and like he grabbed it in his fist and jammed it on his head with the fucking let's
it's
go.
It's even a little too small. I have a thing against small hats.
The point of it, he looked himself in the mirror and said,
small hats.
"Time to go. Let's go do business." Yeah.
Well, I want to give a little background on him. He was he actually fought in World War II. He saw action. He was a gunner and a bomber or something. He came back and he started doing television, and he became a famous television producer. And he is responsible for producing some of the most beloved television shows of our childhood and our young lives, including television shows like Maude, All in the Family, The Jeffersons.
Yeah. The big ones.
Hold on. Good Times. Mm-hmm. So there's so many, and he was he produced all these shows and developed all these shows, and they were shows just like we've been talking about, where they brought up hard issues, like difficult conversations that people didn't want to have, about racism, sexism, about death, about all kinds of
serial killers,
kinds of
everything.
Things that,
I mean, name
serial,
it.
Serial killers, violence against gays. There's so many things that he brought up in these shows that were important conversations, and it was entertainment. And just like T-Bone was saying, it was the thing about it was that he wanted people to sit around in the evening time or the prime time spot, watch it together as a family, and
learn as a family
about this.
Family time.
And learn.
As a kid, you're going to turn around and go, "Hey, mom, dad. I mean, what is he talking about? What's this race thing?"
He did not offer solutions, he did not offer solutions. When you think about like the television shows, it wasn't solutions. It was always spurning a conversation, because a lot of his characters were actually like bullheaded, and they didn't learn from their, like Archie Bunker from All in the Family.
One of the quintessential episodes on that one was Jean Stapleton, her character Edith Bunker, is raped, and to see her descend into that nightmare, she is a fantastic actress, and also that breaks Archie out of his knuckleheadism, and now he's got to contend with how to console, and how to deal with that, how to help in that way, if that's even possible to do, except for just being there.
The Edith and Archie were roughly or loosely based around his parents too. His dad actually went to prison for selling fake bonds too. He was kind of he was like a shyster kind of dude. He was a door-to-door salesman, but his big role model was his uncle, though, who would always flip him a coin, flip him a quarter and say, "Here you go, kid.
That's
keep it together."
He's flipping a quarter. Right.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be that.
You know who he
wanted
is
to be that
politically doing this stuff, and he is a fucking he is a left-leaning kind of cat. And all about these conversations. And did you know, and I just read this now, did you know that he and his buddy owned one of the 200 copies of the Declaration of Independence?
I didn't know that.
I briefly read something about that. I didn't know they owned, but
there was 200 copies made, and I also didn't know it, in 1776. Very rare. And he owned one of them so he could take it on a road show of sorts around the country for the people to see the Declaration of Independence. I think this is the shit, like we get into this crap, this political shit these times about, the fucking leftists or then. I'm like, dude, this guy loved America. This guy was the most patriotic motherfucker.
He did.
He fought in World War II.
Yeah, fought in World War II, took the Declaration around on a fucking grand tour so people could see it. That's some fucking patriotism shit. Liberal.
Well,
you call them fucking goddamn communists, these fucking right-wing fucks. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, you got to think but so I think that a lot of his influence really pushed forward a lot of the progressive thinking in that time period, and then it was squelched as much as it could be by a consortium of things like of big media and politics. Just think, Ronald Reagan got into office, and a lot of this stuff started to disappear, right? Because
you're not going to have a fucking right-wing, fucking church-based organization discussing fucking rape on television. That's not going to happen. And also, I was looking at the mod. Yeah, 47 had to get a fucking abortion. There was a fucking clip of that.
That's right.
What's her name? Barbara Jude.
Louie, please. Sorry. For fuck's sake, man. That's all I can hear is a fucking dog. Sorry.
You know what? This is wait a second. This is an excellent opportunity to take a break for our sponsor, BarkBox.
Oh yeah.
BarkBox might have saved the day if only T-Bone had subscribed. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, BarkBox, we're available.
Louie could handle anything from BarkBox.
The llama's getting the work over. The llama dildo.
Yeah, but I mean his shows addressed all this stuff. I feel like.
Wait a second. I want to talk about the last BarkBox I got. Did I tell you about that? It was a pirate themed BarkBox, and it had a pirate guy and a fucking there's a weird boat. I'm gonna see if I can hang on a second. It's the weirdest dog I've ever seen. Hang on.
Is it a dildo?
Yeah.
Well, we were getting a little we're getting pretty deep there for a second, so we have to break it up with this.
Sometimes you need an intermission.
We hate to get.
Did anybody did BarkBox ever call us back?
Not yet.
Or are they mad again?
We should really call them and ask them. Say, we have a podcast.
No, I can't find it. It was on the floor. It was not there anymore. But I'll tell you the theme of it. It was pirates, and I'm opening.
Wait a second.
Trash because we got to take it.
It's missing.
Yeah. No, it was on the floor. No, it was on the floor in the bedroom, and now it's been taken someplace. It's a little ship with a rubber C around it. It was very odd. The theme for the BarkBox, and it had a whole pull out. Sniff the booty is what it said. Sniffing for booty. Wow. I guess. Yeah. Now we all know the dogs sniff each other's butts. Still,
We do.
I don't know. It's
That's
very
a common
odd. There's a
thing.
very
Yeah.
I just think there's a bunch of perverts. Honestly,
There are at BarkBox for sure.
Yeah.
We already know that. It's,
let's call it.
Well, they're getting us to talk about it.
Yeah, that's for free.
Well,
not for long, BarkBox. You're gonna have to pay us for this pretty soon.
Yeah, that's right.
Not to get rid of BarkBox, because I love you guys, BarkBox. You guys are wonderful. But did you guys know that the Sanford and Son was one of the first? It was the first all-black TV show.
I did not know that.
Yes, I read that, and also one of the things I really love about Sanford and Son is it takes place in Watts, which is
Yes.
If for anybody listening who doesn't know, it's traditionally African American neighborhood in Los Angeles, and it is very poor.
My question on this, my first question on this that's just coming to me is why? Why do that show? Why do that show there? Because you've got Red Fox. He was a popular comedian at the time, right? Lamont.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that guy's his name, the actor's name, but why that setting doesn't seem attractive? Why the house is kind of a wreck? The yard is filled with junk, and you got the father, son, and some coming and goings of other characters. Why pick that? What were your thoughts? What do you think?
I like it.
I will tell you.
It was based on
You want to know what
show,
it's
I know
about?
that.
Yeah,
exactly. Yes, Steptoe and Son. Exactly.
It was a British
show.
show.
It was, but it was based on a British show, Steptoe and Son. Yeah,
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah,
They were
it was
junk
very.
people?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then those
They
guys
were.
tested it out, and they're like, "Hey, we may be able to."
But
well, you know what? We've frequently taken stuff from British television.
We do. We do that.
The Office. It happens frequently.
But I think that one of the things that's charming
Let the Brits
about
try it out. We'll see if that works, and we'll.
I think what's charming about it is that it sort of makes protagonists out of people who are just not wealthy people, which is something I want to also talk about, which is a lot of these shows were lower middle class. Well, the Jeffersons being the exception, one of the exceptions, lower middle class, or even just lower, like
upper class,
like very well, maybe almost to poverty level. Like
Jeffersons weren't rich. I mean, they were living in a nice condo, but that's like upper class.
Well,
you know
George
what I mean?
George Jefferson's pretty. He's got a
He
lot
had
of
some
money.
cash. He had a few dry cleaners. Was he?
Yeah, he was dry cleaner.
He was a dry cleaner.
You know, I mean, Chevron rich? No, it was
but he had enough money to start the George Jefferson Museum in Brooklyn or something. Do you remember that episode where he starts the George Jefferson Museum? Where that was so much.
But there's drama in poor families as well as drama in rich families.
There are, but
I think as Americans we like to watch rich people drama as opposed to. But Sanford and Son was a fucking hit.
Well, I think that we've moved towards people with more money in which I think supports the oligarchy and supports
Dallas
consumerism and capitalism.
Falcon's Crest. Do you remember those?
Well, yeah,
Falcon's
Crest. What was it called?
Do you know
Dynasty?
Dynasty.
Pat Morita was in Sanford and Son. I think his name.
Yes, he was.
I see.
Achow or Achu or something like that.
Dude, they call him Achu. How fucking racist is that?
That's Achow. That's I think it was.
But they bring some chat now.
Yeah.
Who produced Chico and the Man? Because that was right
Achu.
along with that kind of stuff. Achu. They called him Achu.
Achu.
That's a little fucked up. But I bet Pat Morita was funny as fuck when he came on, and they made fun of him for being Asian. And I don't know if that's a good thing, but maybe it was funny at least.
Well, you got to remember too. That was the World War II thing. We right here in Los Angeles, we had Japanese camps in downtown.
Along with Lear, and I'm wondering if he started this too, because along with the Lear shows that you had, which was Good Times, and you had All in the Family, but you got Chico and the Man. You got the Mexican version
Maude.
of that, or the Hispanic version. Maude was a Lear show. I don't think Chico
Yeah.
and the Man was a Lear show.
No, Chico and the Man was
I don't think it
James
was, no.
Comack.
James Comack, and also
James Comack, who's another one.
Talk
Joe,
about,
he had a lot of shows.
He also did Welcome Back, Kotter.
That's what I wanted to say. Welcome Back, Kotter was in the next one. So he got on the Norman Lear tip, and I want to see how those two guys, because what you got in Welcome Back in Gabe Cotter's fucking classroom was diversity. You got lower class people in New York, right? Was it the Bronx? I think.
I don't remember. I didn't watch that show. I only watched that show a couple times.
And that's where we got John Travolta. Hey, I can't eat marshmallows and make me sick. What?
Who?
What?
What? Where?
Where?
Yeah,
Where?
But I think
What?
Dude, still works. And we talk about how much those shows soaked into us, like Sanford and Son, like Elizabeth, I'm coming, Elizabeth, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Every time something shocked him, he's gonna die, held his heart. Elizabeth, I'm coming.
Guilt. Catholic guilt coming in.
What I wanted to get into with this, though, is that I think that TV now has actually become, I think that it's more insidiously, like, actually more racist in its attempt to be politically correct. I think it makes it more racist the way that it's become, and more sexist. But it's definitely more conservative, if you ask me, television. And you don't see...
It's crazy to watch some of the shows right now, and you know they're trying so hard, because you see the first couple is like, I don't know what show it is, but even commercials, you're looking at, you see the guy is a white guy and he's married to a black girl, and their best friends are a Korean and a Puerto Rican couple, and then they've adopted two African American.
Right.
It's like they're just trying too hard.
But
they've swung that way, but it's contrived, like you said.
It is. It's contrived. And to me, it's actually worse because it doesn't allow for conversation about it. It doesn't allow for conversation. But here's some examples of things
you're not supposed to ask. You're just supposed to fucking agree. And that's it.
Maybe it's just that you're too old. And you don't get new TV.
Well, I think what we can do is... I think that's part of it.
It has a lot to do with
I think that's
your
age.
Part.
It's also service and
TV.
Service and old cunt and television.
I think that it's insidious in that it makes it so that it's promoting this thing was like, yeah, we're all equal. We're all equal. We're all equal. It keeps hitting you in the face like, no, there's nothing to be worried about at all. We're all equal. We're all
Bullshit.
equal. I actually think that that's more racist than actually saying that,
we're
not
what
all equal.
Norman Lear was saying is, listen, these issues are out there, and we got to be cool with this. You know what I'm saying?
We talk about them.
We talk about the fact that he had remember, it was Tom, he was married to the black lady or upstairs.
Yes, exactly. He did have that. That's right.
You know how often this was brought up in the show? Multiple. Always.
Again, George Jefferson
George would call him a honky all the time, and never approved of that union.
No,
never.
Always gave him shit for that. It was always
on
the table.
He didn't want to say honky anymore.
Okay, yeah, he didn't want to call Tom honky anymore. He thought at this point that they were friends, and that But
that was what I meant about. He never in the Lear shows there.
You were for a second.
Yeah.
You're good now.
There was never in the Lear shows. There's not necessarily it doesn't get resolved. It continues to be a conversation that you have to have. Like, no, this isn't solved. That's what the problem is. Like that I've come to. They're pretending in today's television that the problem is solved. So don't work on it anymore.
Right.
Don't work on it anymore. We don't have to work on it. My mother says this. She's like, "There's no racism anymore." I'm like, "You're freaking racist, Mom. You're." She's like, "Why does there have to be?
Why does it feel more comfortable out in the open, Lear style? You know what I mean?
It does.
Well, it makes my heart more comfortable like that
because when he's talking about
fucking, yeah.
He's talking about it. That's the important.
Oh, and just on another note, just a quick note: $8.1 million back in 2001. What he paid for that Declaration of Independence. Just a heads up.
In 2001, $8 million.
2001.
If I had a
23
little
years
extra
ago.
money floating around, I would have done that. Fuck yeah. The
I,
show,
I would not have done that.
the specific
No, me either.
episode. There is Tom, Tom and Tom's wife, and I don't remember her name on the show. I'm sorry about that. Are
I can
now
get you.
digging into George for George calling Tom a honky, and she's drawn the line in the sand.
Yeah.
And she's like, "This breaks it. You got to stop calling him a honky." And George refuses to stop doing that. And it breaks their friendship. And Tom, at that point, at the leaving point of that argument, says to George, "What if I called you N-word?" And it was a big, oh, not at all.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that is a big deal. But it's like, dude, they said that on fucking television.
Dude, that
right? You know what I mean?
because that was that's a conversation that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because and
Helen Willis.
Those are the
Helen Willis.
Helen, that's
Roxy
right.
Roker.
Helen.
Lenny Kravitz's
Yeah,
mom.
She's,
by the way.
Lenny Kravitz's mom.
Lenny Kravitz's
yeah.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was pretty foxy at that. I
She
remember.
She was
Yeah.
fantastic.
But yeah.
Even the premise of bringing up the N-word in a TV show, even saying the N-word, even saying the N-word is not even heard of anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wrong.
Tom being brought to the only position I think a character can be brought to in order to bring that word into your home viewing eyes is that situation right there when he's been abused.
It was
So
good.
yeah.
It's the right way. And there are television shows that do buck the trend. South Park is definitely one of them.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Look you right in the eye.
Yeah. Atlanta.
I don't know anything about that show. What is that?
Yeah.
Atlanta is it's what's his name? I can't remember the dude's name. He's unless I'm mistaken, right? He's got the same name as the guy from Lethal Weapon. Glover.
Oh, Donald Glover. Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. Yeah.
So
I've watched a few episodes of that, and it's pretty good. But it's still I don't know. Nothing matches up to these old shows we used to watch as kids. It doesn't even.
No, they don't.
100%.
Well, here, and that's why I put some of these shows here as examples of things that I think
of shit that's just awful, and
that's particularly insidious, though.
I agree. 100%.
Like Reba. I don't know if you've ever watched that show. My grandmother used to really like it. It is like
that ended, right? That's not still.
Yeah, was on quite a while. It's not
still
ago.
fucking dogging her.
It was awful. It was every terror. It was like the whole message was America, is great, and like the song itself, just in the beginning, a single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. Like I never saw her work one day in that show. Like. And it's just like it was just vapid. And then so I will say I have been watching I watched the 2 seasons of And Just Like That because I hated Sex and the City so much that I had to see what happened, what they did with
what show is that?
That's the new Sex and the City with old broads instead of them as young broads. But it's contrived
because that was the thing that Carrie Bradshaw said.
I couldn't even bring myself to watch that.
And just like that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Okay,
I
did. I watched it. I did. Yeah. It was terrible. And it's very contrived, and it's all full of just like we're talking about, like very contrived diversity. And then these kinds of shows, I think, are the worst, and they support the oligarchy the most. Things like Selling Sunset and Bling Empire, where they celebrate like
just the most awful people,
just
selling
the most excessive
$1 million
people.
I watched one season of that Selling Sunset. It was god awful.
It
people
is
awful. Who are excessive. They are. This is the problem.
These people got the vocal fry, and I'm like, they just seem uneducated. And like, I was like, what are you doing? How did you do this?
It's awful.
I do what this house.
But then there's a reason those two guys look like Lex Luthor. I'm just letting you guys know that right up front.
Yes.
But then there's a whole other group of shows.
This is what I was talking about in my text the other day. I've tried so many of these, like it's This is the
so these are supposedly
Indian.
these are supposedly diverse shows.
Right.
I've watched Master of None, did not like it. I watched Never Have I Ever. I liked it, but it's problematic for the same reasons that we're talking about, and I could get into that. Superstore is interesting in that it skirts a line, and I think whoever has been writing it sort of skirts along a line
that's the best one you've put up so far. But it's close.
The best one, yeah, it's close. What happens is they take subtle jabs at stuff, but they don't bring up a lot of difficult stuff, really. That they still do take certain kinds of jabs, but in a lot of
you
this,
can
I
tell
think
who
one
writes
of the
that
problems,
too.
like
they're very comfortable with making fun of Korean people. So that brings me back to the Norman Lear too, because whether we know it or not too, in Superstore, yeah. But I think Norman Lear used to belong to a thing called the Malibu Mafia, which was just a bunch of Jewish guys getting together.
He was in
on
the
a
Malibu
monthly basis.
Yeah.
Which one of us is getting
to school with some of their kids?
You did.
Yeah.
The Malibu Mafia. It sounds so rough, doesn't it? We're gonna get coffee. We're gonna drink cigars.
Hang on.
You all right? Oh my God! You got to go again. Jesus
is Louis
Christ.
over there? Louis over there now.
He figured out. Wow! I like how we can watch him go all the way upstairs.
Dude, it looks like he's frozen. It looks like he's peeing on the stairs. He's freezing.
All right.
Did you find the bark box?
Everybody's freezing. Now I'm freezing.
Find the goddamn.
Are you still looking for the dildo?
No. I mean, there are so many toys these dogs have, and they still find a way to choose stuff that's yours, despite the fact that they have been provided with any number of chewable items that have been purchased.
But these shows that I have here,
I got to get my drink. Still hold that.
Yeah. They have some diversity.
How many breaks does this guy need?
I don't know. He just ran up the stairs again.
How thirsty are you, buddy?
All right, It's Sunday. We're going on. I got my chin. All right. I'm back.
All right.
So, let me ask you this. If you guys remember, maybe you don't. When did George Jefferson move next door to fucking Archie? Was that in the beginning?
I think it started there, and then he moved on up.
I don't know what's I think
he originally started. He moved into the neighborhood.
That's where it did start.
Then he can't live next to this racist big son of a bitch. So
yeah, it was he was played by a different character in the very first episode where he showed up in All in the Family. And then they started using the guy who played George Jefferson, whose name escapes me.
So this was what was called a spin-off.
Sherman Hemsley.
Sherman Hemsley. Right. Was this the first spin-off of a show to then get its own show? Or was this always intended?
No,
there were so many shows. I think even Maude had so many. I mean, maybe All in the Family was spun off from Maude. I'm not really exactly sure, but she's spinning shit off from everything.
Might have been.
They were spinning off, dude. They were spinning off hardcore. And Maude prompted. There was a Valerie. What was the other show? There was one that came from fucking Maude that was, dude, Maude at 47 talking about getting an abortion. And I'm watching this thinking, that woman is so angry looking. I'm not sure who got into her, but somebody got in there.
It was somebody who kind of likes men, but doesn't. You know what I mean? He's a very manly looking
I want the general man vibe, but I still want a vagina. Still want the vagina.
I just want to clear this up. The first
about Maude? About yourself?
No, the first true spin-off series in broadcasting was The Great Gildersleeve, which aired from 1941 to 1958. Because the first spin-offs were actually radio shows.
It sounds very British.
No, it wasn't. I used to listen to this on the drama hour as a kid.
Very bohemian.
The show was based on the character Thornton P. Gildersleeve, who first appeared on the radio show Fibber McGee and Molly. Also listen to that. I'm familiar with Fibber McGee and Molly. From 1935 to 1959, both shows were also adapted into short-lived television programs. So The Great Gildersleeve.
What a fantastic name,
the first spinoff. Well, Fibber McGee and Molly was pretty funny, and The Great Gildersleeve was pretty good too. So I like
the first
radio
TV
drama.
show, though. The first TV show.
The very first TV show?
Come on, that's what we're looking for here. That's a shit that makes sense.
You want to talk about the very first TV show?
I didn't listen to any. Very first spinoff. Spinoff. We're looking for, because I didn't listen to any goddamn Gildersleeve when I was young. I certainly lived.
I missed the Gildersleeve.
And Molly. I'm sorry, I was above it at the time. I guess I was too far into Happy Days.
Okay, you ready? The first TV spinoff was The Adventures of Champion, which aired from 1955 to 56. It was a spinoff of the Gene Autry Show, which starred Gene Autry and Pat Bertram. The show was about Autry's horse Champion. So there you go.
There it is.
Who was a cousin? The horse's cousin was
fucking
Victor,
Mr.
who
Ed.
was Tonto's cousin's horse. Victor.
Dude, I think that should have been spun off again. This is the Ballad of Victor. And Mr. Ed came from...
What was Tonto's horse's name?
Jesus Christ. Really?
He had a name.
I think it was Victor.
God, I can't remember. I used to...
Isn't that from A Christmas Story? He's like trying to play the crossword.
His name was...
Tonto's horse.
His name was Great...
She goes...
Great Eagle Spirit.
No, it wasn't. It was like... He used to say Adam something, and that was the name of his horse.
Oh, Adam I can tell you.
Because he'd say...
Adam 12. Perfect cop show.
That was a good one.
We do like talking about our TV.
Scout.
You know what?
His name was Scout. Adam Scout.
Scout. We need to go. Great Eagle Spirit. Listen. We grew. I think because of our fucking age, we grew up on TV and we grew up on some. Oh shit! This show.
Okay, hold on.
That's no.
Mr.
Robbins.
I want to. So my next part of my manifesto here on television is TV is only for profit now. I was for profit in our day, but now that's the only motivation for it.
This is a really good segment you're going to move into right here. By the way, this is a really good segment in my head.
Yeah,
because,
me too.
We talked about this earlier.
Go ahead.
Where Sesame Street was. Go ahead, Gabe. I mean, this is where you got to this.
I don't know if you guys know what the idea behind Sesame Street was originally. But Sesame Street was originally designed for inner city kids to kind of equalize their learning to the point of kids who. And remember, it was produced by the what do you call it? The public broadcasting.
Yeah, PBS
system.
Yeah,
PBS.
But it was to equalize things because those kids didn't get a foundation in learning like the privileged kids did. And so this group there were PhDs and stuff who originated Sesame Street. They created this show to do that. They put it on at times when those kids would be able to watch it in an attempt to make this is affirmative action, but actual affirmative action, the way that it works, like
the way that it works. Yes.
This is the way that it works. And the thing is not today. It's not the case. Today, Sesame Street is just for privileged kids again. It's only pay-per-view now or whatever. It's on HBO or something.
How do we get so fucked up and greedy? I mean, honestly, it gets this way in everything right now, and it's like
money.
Well, here's the other thing. Think about a show like Mr. Rogers with the overwhelming message that being good to people and understanding people, and regardless of what they are like, and understanding our differences is the right way, and that you're okay, you're good the way you are, don't change, be yourself, be a good person. Why isn't there's nothing when he left the heirs, there's nothing to replace him. There's nobody ever replaced him because
it used to be publicly funded.
I'm looking at this picture of the cast and crew that you got up, and I'm thinking there wasn't a bad thought. I mean, people had bad days, I'm sure, but none of these people came to work thinking how they're going to try to fuck over and get more and fucking more.
I think
they were
Mr. Rogers had a goal for these folks. It was like, hey, we're going to teach
run
kids
by
good
him.
thing. This is
he
a
didn't go like
positive organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
No, this was a positive. It was both of these shows when they started up, their intent was extremely altruistic. It was really, really great.
What happened to that? What happened to that, dude? You know what I mean? What happened to that? What happened to free television and stop fucking subscribing to everything to charge you? Oh, it's only $5 a month and chip and you know, it's like, dude, what happened to this fucking goddamn place? And everybody needs their money.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem. But but before I end this subject, I just wanted to talk about some interesting trends that I've noticed on television. Well, when we say television now, we're talking about streaming, of course, and we're talking about other venues. We're really just talking about entertainment, but in the kind of the series, the way that series, the format of a series. So when I talk about television, that's what I'm talking about. But so I think that there's some interesting things. I think international TV is really interesting in that it brings a whole different, it can bring whole different sets of values and even sometimes like some fresh ideas. Like I've seen some fresh ideas in these Korean shows and some interesting,
what was the one that was very popular recently? What was that? The
Squid Game.
No.
That's what Squid. Is this your Squid? Is this your Squid? What was that game show?
No.
Squid.
No. What was it called? It was called Beef. Beef was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, Beef. Beef was interesting.
Beef was great. Yeah.
Beef was an American show though, because it just happened to have Asian people in it. But
yeah.
Where's this all heading? I mean, what are we looking at here?
I'm looking at but here's some. I just want to talk about these trends that I think we need to continue to watch and see what happens. There's a show called The New Norm. It's on Twitter because of Elon Musk, and it is a anti-woke cartoon, and it is terrible and stupid. And like
We Stand Together, that one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Trump is a like.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's called The New Norm, and it's just basically polarizing propaganda.
And that cartoon, the one you've shown.
And it's on Twitter. That's where it's being delivered.
You don't need to tell everybody where to find it.
Or whatever it's called. X.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well,
what you know what? Lately, I've been thinking of and I saw pictures of Elon jumping for joy at a Trump rally.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm really concerned. I've got to kind of find an answer why people who are very middle of the road about this dude, as awful as he is an awful lying cunt of a human being, the worst of the worst. How people who are middle of the road about this guy have turned so rabid about him.
He's taken a turn in the last several months.
Roseanne Barr, I've seen some videos of Roseanne Barr just like maniacal following.
She's trying to get back on the air somehow.
Yeah, she's just.
Yeah.
I don't know. No. It's just like but Elon, again, like, why he was fucking out of it for like we didn't hear about his fucking political views about any fucking thing.
No.
Suddenly.
It's not sudden. He's always been
sudden.
Like that.
It's within the last 6 months.
Like
within the last 6 months.
No, I think you're right. I think Gordon's right. Yeah. He is. He shut his mouth about a lot of things.
He full blown comes out like fucking.
Well, I've hated him for years because he wants Trump to win.
Sure, but the fact of the matter is that he didn't really talk about it that much. He didn't.
Yeah, he might have had his opinions,
but why now is everybody
because
like,
he's taking?
Who's the other person? I know Kevin Sorbo because what he cares about is very important. But you know,
saw a funny quote on that the other day.
The Roseanne Barr shit, and then there's like
Hulk Hogan.
Did you see her
Kid
stand
Rock.
up? I'm like, go fucking nuts. It's like, what? There was somebody else. It was Elon Musk and some other fucking asshole, and it's like, dude, you know this is like a really ridiculous shit, and you're like full blown 100% all chips in with this. I don't understand. Dude, T-Bone, I know. I won't get under the work thing, but there's a super across the way, build another fucking thing. And we sit in my job space for a minute, and he's talking to me. I said, "You're a Republican, right?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, I said, "Yeah, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump at all." And he's like, "That's all right." And it's like, the way I see him is I see him like, the only really good option. And I'm like, the only really good option?
I know. That's
You got to be fucking kidding me, right? I mean, you got to be fucking kidding. And I intend to nail this guy down. He's been there for a minute. I'm like, I'm going to fucking talk to him about this. We're going to get on about this. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? Like, what? After everything you've heard about this fucking guy and everything he said out of his own fucking mouth in front of a camera, you still think this is the only real option? And he's not the only one. This is America, half of it, my friends, that believe this
it's not
shit.
just but the problem is those middle of the road people who need convincing, like which one's the right one. They are so dumb that they are going to push this towards Donald Trump, I feel like, and I'm still scared. So, get your Mexican
we're
passport.
overlooking so many things right now, and we're just being blindsided by. We really are. We're being barraged with. Anytime he says something about, you know what, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of all the Haitians. I'm getting rid of the TP. I'm getting rid of that temporary status for any Haitians, and then they're all going to leave. Just little things like that. They're just. But really, what's going to happen is Kamala Harris is going to win the presidency, and we're going to lose seats in the House and the Senate. And Obama didn't get anything done, and that's exactly what's going to happen again. We're going to get a president that just can't do anything. And it's just a fucking vicious circle and frustrating. And it's going to drive us to the point to where that Trump thing's going to run again in 4 years. And not everybody's going to be drinking the Kool-Aid on that one. But I think
I'll
tell you why. And I'll tell you why. Because even the Republicans are so afraid if Donald Trump dies that J.D. Vance, because it's like Dave Chappelle said. He goes, if I ran for president, he goes, man, they're going to kill a black guy. But you know what I'll do? I'll get a Mexican vice president. Because if they fucking kill me, that's what they're going to end up with. You know what I mean? So that's what they're thinking. They're like, Trump's like, I'm going to get this fucking idiot who hates me, that there's no way they'll let this guy be vice president. So it's almost ridiculous as that. But that's my thought process. That's my prediction. I think we're probably going to lose a majority somewhere in the Senate or the House, and Kamala will be president and not be able to do anything. And they'll say, we told you. She can't do anything. She's the border czar. What did you want her to do?
Dude, but it would be so miserable to have that happen. Then you have to explain all the right when see, I told you. I did that. It's like,
but if he wins, we're going to be doing that. Guys. See? We told you. Fucking he's getting rid of this, he's getting rid of that.
Does anybody have the strap on your football helmet? Put a goddamn bulletproof vest on version of, okay, you want that? Let's see how this goes. And maybe you'll shut the fuck up after this goes really fucking off the rails.
And they won't. I don't think anybody's going to. I think when it goes bad, I think people are just going to be like, well, they'll just blame somebody else. They're not going to blame their.
If you think about this right now, back in what we were talking about originally, or we weren't talking about because that's our podcast, but we were talking about Norman Lear and how he made things.
What we should talk about it.
Well, yeah. But no. What I'm saying is it all ties in because if someone were to be able to pull a Norman Lear right now with TV and bring in both sides of the Democrats and the liberals, it would be great TV, and everybody's going to watch it because you let everybody have their little punches.
The family
and you make fun of it.
Did it?
Bring it back.
Gloria was in the house with their fucking meathead. Remember, they were completely fucking liberal to Archie's fucking Republican. You know what I mean? This is what you need again. That's what you need again.
It even says in the song, we need a man like Herbert Hoover.
Hoover again. Yeah.
Yeah,
let me ask you one thing really quick because I was watching the thing. It was like a birthday party for Norman Lear. He died at 101 in 2003, and I'm guessing his 100-year birthday there was a whole cast, all the cast and crew from the Jeffersons. I think they built the Jeffersons set again, and he was there, and they were all singing the Jeffersons theme song. And I know goddamn well you know that song, and I know that song, and we know the fucking All in the Family song too. That's imprinted in the fucking skull. You know what I mean? That song is imprinted in the fucking skull.
It is. To correction, he died last year, 2023.
Yes,
2023, yeah. That's what I said.
121.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
101.
So the video I saw, which was, I'm guessing, probably his 100th birthday, and all the
It's
everybody
probably at the
gathered,
Kennedy Center, to be honest with you, because I think he was given the Kennedy.
No, it was in an apartment, and it looked like a Jefferson. It looked like the Jeffersons' apartment, and everybody was there. There's probably fucking 30 people from the cast of the Jeffersons there, and Sherman Hemsley was there, and he was doing his fucking George Jefferson, and they were singing "Moving On Up," and it was fucking really cool. And I thought, you know what? That had a lot of fucking impact on me, and I still know that song just like Schoolhouse Rock got me through fucking certain tests.
Well,
because I remember
I think we're the last generation to truly.
I was a kid, and they used to put everything on ice.
Television.
Do you remember that? Where they put anything on ice? Like Sesame Street on ice, you know, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Well, they used to have the
ice Jeffersons on ice. Yeah, I think there was a Jeffersons.
No, there is not. There was?
I think so. No, it wasn't. Was it Scrooged or one of those shows made fun of it? But I think there was they tried to put together a Jeffersons on ice. You know, Sherman Hemsley. It would have been awful.
No fucking way, and that would have been awful. But I would have bought a ticket for that. I would have.
Yeah.
How do you do the George Jefferson walk? The fucking swinging arms. Fucking.
No, remember he always put his hands in he walked like this.
Yeah.
He's great.
And there was that or his arm swinging thing, but I remember him sitting on the steps and he was talking to a young girl, probably his granddaughter or something, like, why do you always call Tom a honky? Because he's a honky. You know, and it's, dude, see, you laugh and it's funny. It's funny to put it that way, but that's the fucking genius of it, is that you can lampoon it. You know he's fucking wrong. You know what I mean? For doing that. You know it's not the right way.
It's not,
and you
but it's
see
not
it's
wrong.
not the right way.
To call weight
it's
normal isn't wrong.
It's normal.
Who cares?
It's normal for them.
Has anybody ever called you a honky and you were like, you motherfucker?
Right.
Never.
It's all what the intention of it is and what the.
But you blow out the N word and you're gonna have a fucking problem.
But you don't call it the H word, do you? You don't call it the H word. You just say honky.
You call me honky all day. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm
don't say the other word.
I think that's
a honky.
That gets into a much more complicated conversation. About
I think we should part two this shit. Is that just me?
The history of both of those, where I'm gonna have to disagree that I think there's a false equivalency there.
There is not. They are not even equally.
I'm not sure that
you've never hurt anybody's feelings.
I feel like
nobody.
No, I feel like 300 years of slavery has
honky tonk woman. It's like you're going to a honky tonk. You know what? Maybe that's where it came from.
Saxon motherfucker. Nothing. There's
Still
no word.
I think a more insulting one is cracker. Cracker's a bit more insulting.
It's a little more insulting. It's got a little bit of a bite to it, but that's like a pickled jalapeno as far as bite to it.
There's no word that makes my race angry.
I got to tell you guys a story. What happened? I got fed one of those death chips last week.
Did you?
By who? The ones with the fucking super ghost pepper.
Was it the Black Bear Cafe?
Oh.
No. We'll save that for episode 2. We're out of time.
Yeah, we ran out of time, but I think we solved the television today.
I think we part 2 this. I don't think we did.
Let's part 2 it, because we might be able to solve it. We might be able to solve it better, but I think
T-Bone solved it. No, never mind. We're all good.
My takeaway from today is that Gordon is fucking old and cunty, and
there you go.
Goes to places that he knows are going to be bad, so he can complain.
And on another note,
I don't really look for a good dining experience. I just want to complain.
The thing we did solve is we need another person that is making entertainment for us, like a Norman Lear, somebody who can do something like that would be
We do.
legendary.
We need,
But they don't
we
make
need the
people
new
like
Norman
that
Lear.
anymore. They broke the mold. So
Yes.
that's what I
Well,
say.
they might. We just don't know.
Well, it depends.
Oh, he's
Somebody's
out there.
gonna have to do it.
I hope it's one of my kids.
Who's the mama? Who's the mama's guy? Fucking
Mama's
Come on
boy?
out. Bring him out.
Who's Halloween? Mama's Halloween. Was that
Tyler
Mama's
Perry.
Halloween.
Tyler Perry? Maybe if he cared.
Shut up.
If he
Shut
wasn't
up
sitting,
over there.
if he could get off all of his piles of money.
I can't stand his
It's
movies.
gonna have to be good actual
do it.
writing.
It has to be
So,
good. Has to be
Yeah.
good. Yeah, maybe
Tyler
you know
Perry's
what?
an incredible
T-Bone,
person,
I think it's
but-
going to be one of your kids.
I hope so.
Yeah,
It might be the
he
one
is,
that goes to
but
CSUN.
I don't.
I have a
He's
Matador
done very
in my
well.
house.
I think his
It's the
shit's
one that's-
horrible.
It's the one that. It's the one that's going to CSUN.
It's
Yes.
definitely
Just so
going to be a
everybody-
Matador.
So go Matadors. Yeah, for sure.
Solve it. Hey, go sit her down, watch them All in the Family,
Yeah.
and say this. Watch some Jefferson and go, this is
Yeah.
what's needed. We need to
Yeah.
make this normal again. The
So I need
conversation.
to program.
and
I need to
just-
start programming.
No, they're out there. Start programming. Oh,
Yeah, just say you're our last great best hope.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Obi-Wan.
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh well, Obi-Wan.
Good.
Do we
What
have
a
any
great show.
email? Did any
Great
email
show.
come in?
I didn't see any emails.
Good.
You didn't look. But is Brandon? I think he might have sent something.
Did he?
I don't know.
Hold on.
Maybe.
All right.
I
let's
don't know.
Okay, hold on.
Do a
Let's see,
do a quick
let's
check
count,
in.
let's count how many seconds it takes him for actually to check this.
Well, hold on a second.
5, 4,
Well, it takes a minute.
3. He's there. It comes. I see it in the glasses. It's already open.
Okay,
It
hold
was
on.
what,
It's-
5 seconds it took you to fucking check?
I know, but it's hard.
I know. Very, very hard. Very hard.
No.
Oh, all
No,
right.
nothing.
Well,
Do we- how many
I know you
followers do
won't
we
know
have
this
now?
either, but do we get any followers?
I don't know.
All
Just
right.
go on Instagram.
Let's go eat and have a drink and shut the fuck up, and we'll just,
Hold on.
That
let me
sounds
go
good.
on.
Maybe
I'm
we'll
hungry.
come back.
I think I'm gonna have a beer.
Hold on. Hang on a second.
I'm making stroganoff tonight.
Oh, that's
yeah?
nice.
Yep. Like some ground beef stroganoff. Put it in
yeah,
some
we do
bowl
that.
with some
I like
egg
that.
noodles. Get on. It's good.
Oh, not talking about. Here we go. We have 24 followers, which is what we had before.
God, that's fantastic.
But
You're
I did
killing
put a video up, which is
What do we got to do? I keep thinking about
this.
this.
This video
I
is
see that. Is it climbing the charts?
this video is we have 9 views. 9 people viewed it. It's,
Yes.
yeah,
Do we need a
this-
billboard?
Is this your squid?
Oh God!
Anyway, I'll see you guys
Inside
next
joke.
week.
Everybody
That's our
have a
new
good
handshake.
night.
Yeah, do a handshake.
Let's
See
do
you
it
guys
again.
later.
Have a good
Later.
one. See ya. Bye.